It's the 19th of May, and my upload for today is pertaining to the issue of repeat offenders in this community that have intruded upon my child and I and my marriage of the 30th of the 3rd, 2015. That's still legally binding. Now, in January 2017, unfortunately, the culprits of a very serious offence caused undue harm and were responsible for a very serious crime against my bloodline, my rights, and my beautiful child. These repeat offenders are still causing disharmony and dissension and disrespect in this community due to their preoccupation with property they don't own, and it's gone beyond the point of embarrassment. And they have the concept of displacement and disposability upon the other offences that they've already caused me and my child, I might add. And I'm really concerned about their mental health, and I'm really concerned about their unlawful behaviour, and I'm really concerned with regard to the implications and the individuals being implicated to do wrong unnecessarily, unjustifiably, and inexcusably to a property owner. There's a very serious issue from my marriage that involves treason, and treason is a punishable offence. There's also huge death, damage, harm and loss incurred by these repeat offenders that haven't grasped the nature of their wrongdoings. As a woman of recovery advocacy, and as a teacher with a clean track record, and as a advocate of crime prevention whose work has been quite successful, the issue of these people disrespecting my matrimony in the church is it's offensive in many respects. Now, yesterday I handled the topic of the Hippocratic Oath, and today it's the issue of faith and creed and a matrimony being disrespected due to avarice and covetousness, and these issues that have been rising due to land acquisition and the dangers that these people have caused in this community. Now, I'm here all my life in the southwest of Ireland, and there are people being really disrespectful to the foundations and contributions that I've been making to society that entail so many factors. There have been flora and fauna developments and farm holding developments and whatnot, and there have been a lot of wrongdoings entailed that disrespect the standards and level of professionalism that would be expected in a modern day and age by mature, sane, intelligent human beings. It's called evolution. We're at a stage in world history where people are very, very smart, but I'm grasping from the circumstance that there's a lack of intelligence with regard to the farce I'm confronted with. And I don't mean to sound insulting to anyone in particular, just the circumstance in itself where people have been quite cheeky to so many on the spectrum of this situation. They just think they're above the law, and they've disrespected the law. And as a recovery advocate and as a woman that is of crime prevention and education and recovery, the matters I'm confronted with are quite cheeky. There's so many things I could address in this, but I'll just try and keep it at a concise, synopsized version of the reality that is a representation of the sad sign of the times that we're in. That's the name of this documentary. And I'm experiencing cybercrime as well, and identity theft, and all of these matters are occurring. And I'm a crime prevention and recovery, and I'm a mother, and I'm just trying to fathom the insanity of the situation. It's really rude to the church, it's rude to the state, and it's rude to the judiciary. So I'm concerned about the mental health of these people that are toxic, with an arrogance that makes them feel entitled to discuss people's entitlements and rights and credentials and experiences and circumstances as they are. The issue of individuals trying to put words in people's mouth and thinking that they're training a puppy are disrespecting intelligence of human beings, and they're insulting human behaviour, and they're really insulting professionalism and standards that are entailed. So my son is still a missing person. I'm still a married mother. Legally, I am the only property owner of my farmsteads, even though they are subject to fraud. And I have worked for the betterment of society as a humanitarian, and I have been experiencing medical negligence. So this is for the interests of humanitarians. For your awareness, there have been people reaping and sowing and progressing from my work, and they have been developing unlawfully methods and means that I did not consent them to use, nor did I invite them into the experience that I am authentically and originally responsible for, which is the progress of society as a humanitarian educator, etc. So I'm very concerned about climate change. I have a huge love for flora and fauna. My background is agrarian as well. There's that aspect to my family history that's quite unique and special in the kingdom in southwest Ireland here in Tralee, County Kerry and the surrounding area. So it's quite insane what's happening, and it's been happening for a few years since I became a married mom, and these people have risked so many other innocent individuals, and they're repeat offenders against my beautiful precious little baby boy. So I really hope that the female humanitarians out there, and particularly the moms out there, will empathise and identify and relate to the insanity and the arrogance that I'm confronted with by people not paying their debts and dues and exacerbating their debts and damages and harms and losses. So there's no damage limitation. There's exacerbation and retaliation, and that's regressive behaviour, especially in the context of where I'm being challenged, where there's fraud occurring and where there was spiritual violence and treason. It's absolutely, it's unfathomable. It's unfathomable. So I would hope the individuals receiving false reports and whatnot from repeat offenders that are of evasion and avoidance, I hope you have more integrity and respect for your professions than to be implicated by individuals that have been spineless in this whole entire situation and haven't had the dignity to address their weaknesses, their failings, their defects of character and their shortcomings. So on that note, that's the update for today. It's a sad sign of the times in the southwest of Ireland.